Hello and good morning, dear children. Today is 29th of April and this video is meant for class 9. We are going to begin a new lesson today, a very interesting lesson. This is called Globalization. This is chapter number 13. Chapter number 13. Topic is globalization. So what is globalization? Why is it important for us to understand globalization? How globalization takes place? What are the advantages or characteristics of globalization? Let us discuss these matters today. First, the meaning of globalization. Globalization means integrating. Integrating means mixing, bringing together one economy with another economy. Like when we produce a commodity made in India and we sell it or send it to some other country, we are opening our border for their product to come to our country. Such kind of interaction are coming together, one economy with the world economies, one economy with the economy of the other country. When we come together, it leads to a concept in economics called globalization. So, definition of globalization is the process of integrating the economy of the country with other economies of the world. And how do we come in contact with each other is by means of trade. By means of trade, we produce a commodity, sell it to Bangladesh, and we buy something from Bangladesh also. Then we are integrating, we are coming in contact with the economies of the world. It is called globalization. Through capital flows, capital we send to them and something we buy from them as well. Technology and capital we exchange. So then we are globalized. We are said to have been globalized. So globalization is a concept where one economy comes in contact with the other economies of the world by means of trade, technology and capital transfer. Now, how the globalization takes place? First is by opening up of the world trade. Opening up the world trade means there is no restriction. Any foreign company can come to our economy and our economy can go out of India to any other economy and invest there. So that's the opening up of the world economy, world trade. Next is the removal of barriers to international investment. International investment. If I am an Indian and if I want to invest in other country, I cannot simply do that. I'm not allowed to do that unless that government allows me to go and invest my money there. Similarly, an American wants to come in India. He will do so only by a permission seeking from the government of India. So, when there is a globalization, there will be no barriers. Barriers means obstructions imposed by the government. There is free access. So such kind of barriers are removed in the international investment. And the next is free flow of technology between countries. The technology of a nation can be sold to another economy, can be given to another economy, and technology can be purchased or hired from other economies. So by means of these three channels, the globalization takes place. So these are the three channels of globalization. Now, dear children, let us understand the effect of globalization. What happens because of globalization? First one is expansion of world trade. We sell to other countries, we buy from them, so it leads to expansion, the economy grow. Now, not only we are producing biscuits in India, we are also purchasing biscuits from other countries. So the market will expand. Next is increased flow of international capital. International capital, since we have already removed the barriers, there will be a lot of investment coming from other countries. So this will lead to increased flow of capital, investment capital. So it is not only, say for an example, an American investing in India, so it will result not only an increased amount of investment in India, but an Indian may also be willing to go to New York and invest his money. So it would lead to increase in the capital inflow for their country as well. Next is increased interdependence between countries. That means one country, say there are many countries who cannot produce salt. They are dependent on the production of salt on other countries. Like we cannot produce so many things. So for that, we are dependent on the production of that commodity in some another world. Even if we produce that commodity, it would be expensive for us. And if the same commodity is being produced at a cheaper rate in some other country, and if importing will be cheaper, then we do rely on the production of that commodity in that country. so that the commodity is produced there and we will simply purchase, we will buy, and that will be cheaper for us. So interdependence increases because of globalization. Next is the transfer of technology. Very recently, India purchased so many fighters, aircraft from many other foreign countries. Technology is sent from one nation to another nation. So transfer of technology. Next is increased availability of goods. Like one example, just a moment ago I gave you the example of production of biscuits. India produces many varieties of biscuits. No? India imports the biscuits produced in foreign countries also. So these all are available to the consumers. This will be a very, very conducive environment for the consumer. Those people whose taste is not met by the producers of the biscuit in India, they may buy the biscuits produced elsewhere. So this is the increased availability of goods. Goods are available now in plenty and as well as in many varieties. Next is increased information flow. Information flow means you come to know about the foreign people, about the foreign product. Had there been no globalization, if you were to buy only the thing produced in India, and if the foreign companies were not allowed to come in India, you would have never come to know about them. Of course, we see them on television, but on live, face to face, you would have never seen them. But once we are globalized, we are allowed to go elsewhere, invest money there, work there. No, similarly, they come to our country, so we come in contact with each other. We know them and we know their product. Next is economic prosperity leads to economic benefit. Like if an American comes in India and invest money here, job opportunity will be created here. The factors produced in this place will be used here. No, so it would lead to economic prosperity. Next is increase in cross-cultural contacts. Culture of the foreign countries we come to know. Because their food habits do come here, their lifestyle, clothing do come here, they themselves do come here, so we come in contact with each other. So not only do we know them and their product, but we also come to know about their culture. So these are some of the advantages or effects of the globalization we have. But this is also of not an unmixed blessing. It has some problem also, and the problem is increased vulnerability to other countries. Sometimes a country's problem, the problem may be in one country, but its effect will have to be saved by so many other countries. Like there was an American economic crisis in the year 2008 and 9. There was an Euro crisis in the year 2012. No, there was a great economic crisis in 2007 and 8 also. Though these all crises were not in India, still the Indian economy was impacted because of this. That means the bad economic condition of one country will affect another country. This is called increased vulnerability to other countries. This is the risk. Vulnerability is the risk. So the economic problem of one country will affect another country. This is the first one, and it is because why it is so? Though the fault was not with us, still we were impacted because of this. It is because of the globalization. No? All the economies of the world is connected, and because of that connection, because of that concept of globalization, when a country faces economic crisis, not only will that country be affected, but its impact will have to be faced by the other economies which is connected to it. And the next is volatility to financial markets. Volatility means movement from one place to another place. That's a volatility of financial market. Now, what happens is sometimes, globalization means we can invest, to foreign countries. But do you think India, which is a poor country, can go to America and invest? And if so, how many people can go and invest? But if an American can come in India and invest, then how many Americans would not come and invest? Everybody, they are rich enough. There will be so many people who can come and invest in India, because India is a poor economy. So ultimately it leads to, because of globalization, ultimately it leads to causing prosperity to those who are already prospered. Means the developed country will become further developed. They will become more developed. and underdeveloped will continue to remain underdeveloped. So the difference between the development will increase. The difference between the distribution of income between the rich and the poor, between the rich countries and the poor countries will further increase, and this is one of the risks that the globalization may cause. So dear children, these are today's class. We discussed about a new lesson. We started chapter number 13 called Globalization. We discussed the definition of globalization and 3 channels by means of which globalization takes place. We discussed about the effect of globalization and the risks involved in globalization. I suppose you understood. Should you have any doubt, please feel free to make phone calls to me. Either you can text or make phone calls. We are always available for you. So please listen to this video twice, thrice, until and unless you understand. You make phone calls to us. We are always there for you. Take care of yourself and please do study at home. So thank you.